This Sunday, Jazz Winnipeg, in collaboration with the Fort Garry Hotel, will be presenting the fantastic Winnipeg trio Casati. Combining jazz with folk, country, and some 50s and 60s pop, Casati consists of Jesse Popetsky on guitar, Grace Harabi on vocals and ukulele, and Quentin Bart on bass. Casati has established itself as one of Manitoba's best and most singularly sonically interesting acoustic trios on the scene today. There are two shows this Sunday night, one at 6:30 and one at 8:30. The shows are called A Night of Norah and are the trio's tribute to the great singer, songwriter, and pianist Norah Jones. And here to tell us more about their two shows on Sunday night at the Fort Garry Hotel, I am joined by guitarist Jesse Popetsky and singer Grace Harabi. Hey, Jesse and Grace, nice to have you here.
Hello.
Good to be here.
So I first want to talk about the group. All three of you are University of Manitoba Des Hotels faculty music grads. Is that how the three of you met? And can you talk about how you developed your wonderful sound as a trio? Maybe, Grace, I'll get you to start out with that one.
Sure. Quentin and I did meet in university, and we started playing music together back then, way back in the day. But we did not actually meet Jesse for almost a decade after we started playing music together. So the three of us kind of came together very symbiotically. Somebody suggested Jesse on a gig for us, and then we just meshed together so well right away. We started playing a whole bunch of shows together, but at the time we were just playing jazz. And over the course of about a year, we started slowly introducing some of my originals. And then from there, it's just kind of morphed into what it is now, which is everybody writes and everybody sings.
So I got to ask the question, Grace, when did you find out that Jesse was such a killer backup vocalist?
Well, actually, Jesse and I started. Jesse sings music at care homes around Winnipeg, and right when we started playing music together, I asked if I could come with him, and we just started singing harmony together, and it was just so beautiful, and we had never done that in our trio before, and then it just felt like easily the next step to add in.
Yeah, it's amazing. How did the gig come about? Was it Jazz Winnipeg that approached you? And once you knew the show was actually happening, how did you know that? How did you decide that Norah Jones was going to be the focus? Jesse, maybe I'll get you to answer.
Sure, we'd proposed the idea of doing the Norah Jones tribute show for Jazz Fest, but the way things worked out, we ended up just doing our own show of our own music at Jazz Fest. They wanted it to be in a more intimate venue, so when they started this concert series, Sundays at the Fort Garry, they approached us with the idea we had initially come up with of doing all Norah Jones' music for one of these concert series shows.
Mm-hmm. Have all three of you been fans of Norah Jones? And Grace, as a singer, what do you particularly enjoy about singing her tunes and hearing her?
Yeah, no, I have been a fan of Norah Jones for a very, very long time. She was one of the first singers that I ever heard that just fit right into my range. And I just loved singing along with her, and I loved the sincerity in her voice. And she also really dabbles in a lot of different styles. She's done some country, she's done jazz, she's done more folk, she does some pop. And I think an artist like that, where you identify with their vocal quality, you're more maybe open-minded to listen to them sing in a bunch of different styles. And so it was really interesting as I started getting into her, just the catalog of genres and music to pick from. It just felt like an endless selection of things to hear somebody try. But her vocal quality is definitely something that I come back to quite a bit when I'm looking for inspiration for writing.
Yeah, I mean, you've sort of answered my next question. While I was prepping for the interview, I was listening to the album Come Away With Me. Yeah. And as I was hearing it, I was like, there are a lot of similarities between the sort of intimate acoustic quality that Casati has as well, as Norah Jones has on that album. How did you narrow it down? Jesse, can you talk about that a bit? Like, how did you decide on which Norah Jones tunes you were going to perform?
Yeah, we pretty much picked our favorites. So we picked the ones we felt people would know, and we kind of felt that would be the way to welcome people in. But then we tried to, as Grace mentioned, she has this huge catalog, 7 or so albums, and with a big variety of genres from those albums, whether it's jazz, whether it's folk, whether it's whatever, all these different styles. So we tried to pick songs that sort of summed up each of those faces of her.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to be joined by the pianist Alana Fass. Is that right on that stage? Does it make performing Norah Jones tunes easier in terms of texture? And Jesse, can you talk about some of the arrangements? And are you going to be putting any of the Casati flavor on any of the Norah Jones tunes?
I think we can't help but put the Casati flavor on it. It just comes out when we sing together, when we play together. So it's something we've worried about in the past. How are we going to go about this? And it's something we think less and less about. I'm not concerned that it's going to sound like Casati because it is Casati. It's just the way it happens. With regards to working with a piano player, I mean, we felt like we wanted and needed that because Norah Jones plays piano on her own music and accompanies her own singing. Yep. So that's been something to navigate because Norah Jones is often accompanying herself, like quite literally playing along with her voice. And here we have Alana playing along to Grace's voice. So navigating that has been part of the arranging process. I think the other big thing is that there's drums on almost all of her recordings, and we don't play with a drummer almost ever, and on this show we're not playing with a drummer, so we've had to navigate how do we make the rhythm feel good without a drummer, and we all have our role to play within that. That's sort of what the arranging has come down to.
Yeah, and Grace, are you going to be playing any ukulele on any of the tunes?
You know, I debated that for a few weeks, but I've decided not to. So there's a couple of tunes where I could have put it in, but I really wanted to just focus on the singing. She has such a thoughtful voice, like the way that she sings, it really connects with the listener, and I wanted to just put all of my energy into that. So I'm not going to be playing any ukulele, but we did find a couple of tunes to put the hurdy-gurdy on. So listeners will be happy to know the hurdy-gurdy will be at the concert, and we have, I think, found 2 really good places to use it. So
Nice. Is it going to be straight up Norah Jones tunes, or are you going to be doing some of your own originals? And the only reason I ask is I was listening to the album, This Is Just to Say, which is just great. And it's all original Casati tunes. You're not going to be incorporating any of that into the set list?
No, this show will just be Norah Jones music. But for anybody who's familiar with our music, I guarantee you'll enjoy our interpretations of these songs. If you like that album or any of our music, you will enjoy the show.
What do you hope audiences are going to take away from the shows on Sunday night, aside from a Casati CD? Jesse, what do you hope they'll take?
It's a good question because, doing a tribute show to someone who's already established and famous and all those things, like, we don't really care that much about promoting Norah Jones. She doesn't need that, right? So that's not it. But I think there is a feeling that she doesn't get recognized the way she maybe should. I think she kind of gets lumped in with this sort of adult contemporary Diana Krall sort of jazz for grown-ups thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's some really great music there. But I think we're going to show that there's a lot more to it than that she's a unique and distinct artist. And I think people will appreciate that about her, and then hopefully just enjoy seeing a different side of what we do. We've never done these songs anywhere else. We do typically just play our original music. So just to see a different side of what we do too will be something for people to enjoy.
And Grace, how about you? What do you hope they'll take away?
Well, I think that some of the albums that we really love of Norah Jones are not the best known albums. And I think when people think of Norah Jones, they right away think of Sunrise. They right away think of Don't Know Why. And we are going to play those tunes, but we made sure as we were going through that we selected at least one song from a couple of the albums that aren't really as well known. And hopefully if people like those pieces, they'll go home and listen to the whole album, because her musical career is like quite a journey to listen to. And it's fascinating, even listening to it just by ourselves. It was interesting to just really clearly hear an idea forming, and then the next album, okay, there's that idea. She's like really developed that. And that just happens over and over. And I think as an artist who writes, I really feel like it gives you permission to see that whole process as relevant, not just where they're going, but the getting there. So hopefully people will come away with maybe a new favorite Norah Jones tune.
Yeah, excellent. Jesse and Grace, this has just been so wonderful to talk to you today. The shows on Sunday at 6:30 and 8:30 at the Fort Garry Hotel sound like they're going to be just great. All the best, and thanks for taking the time to come out and talk to me today. This has just been great.
Yeah, thank you
You bet.
so much.
Thank you.
For our Classic 107 listeners, I have written an article about Casati's show, A Night of Norah. You can find it at classic107.com. And in the article, I have hyperlinked to the Jazz Winnipeg website where you can purchase tickets and find out more details about the shows at 6:30 and 8:30 on Sunday night at the Fort Garry. Grace and Jesse, thanks again.
Thank you.